I'm scared. Hi, babies. I'm bald. Anyhow, I have. I don't even want to say a thought. I want to say more, and I don't want to word it this way, but I kind of do. A warning. I mentioned in one of my other videos before, and I want to mention it again. To be more intentional with when you are talking about different realities and different timelines and different things like that, to just be very curious and be very intentional about what it is that you're asking for, right? Because we see a lot of things with CERN and, timelines collapsing, and it's so many, like, not like together, but like this and this and this and this and this and this. And I just want to remind you that not every, like, you might be a millionaire in one reality and you call that towards you, but you're only a millionaire because you, in that reality, because you don't have children. So the children that you do have in this reality, to match that, you either have to lose the money or lose the kids. You understand what I'm saying? So, like, that's why I'm asking you to just be, and that's like a very big extreme, right? But that's what, when we talk about being intentional, I know myself, okay? The point of spirituality, I'm going to get back to that last thought. Just give me a second. Is to be yourself where you are as you are. Like right then, right there, as you are here. That's it. To just exist as you are, where you are, when you are, how you are, with who you are. You understand? And I think that, like, when I was getting into spirituality, people are like, there's an infinite thing of timelines. And yeah, like, that's true. Infinite realities. But if you are not intentional, that's why I always say when people talk about spiritual awakening, your third eye, your higher chakras should be the last ones you're opening up. Do not be opening up your third eye, because then you are creating realities. You are asking for realities, manifesting timelines from insecurity, from lack, from fear. If you are going to be asking to be colliding with a completely alternate reality, be so very intentional about who you are, who you want to be, how you want to get there, what you're willing to give up or not to be able to get there. Because you might be like, oh, well, that's not what I asked for, but it is. You understand? And if it wasn't, then did you do, this is where it gets a little, the nuances. Did you do protections? Was there somebody else that influenced your decisions? Was there somebody else that consciously influenced your decisions or subconsciously? Did you clear any hexes or spells or witchcraft from your body, from your mind, body, and spirit when you were able to, reach a reality that was in alignment with what you wanted? Do you understand? Like, there's so many nuances to this. But this is the time to not just correct people on who you are, what you will or will not, da 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 da. And I don't want to say correct, but educate people. Because knowing me, again, back to that point, knowing me, I love myself as I am. And I also fear myself, as you should. Because another reality is where they are, because they had these traits, or they didn't go through this and this. I'm not a nice person. If there was another me, walking around in this reality, I would be genuinely fearful of people, for people. Not because I'm violent or aggressive, but because I'm naturally, like, I'm a bitch. I'm a really shitty individual. I don't care. Like, I would be the best businesswoman, I'll tell you that. But I would be cold-hearted. I would be after what it is that I want, and if it wasn't for what I wanted it to be about, and respectfully, she can stay somewhere else. There's also another reality that's like almost award-winning parent. I'm not. I mean, I'm pretty great, I think. Biased, but I think I'm pretty great. And I'm not perfect. And there's another reality that is a perfect parent. Respectfully, she can stay where she's at. I don't need to feel like I'm inadequate because I'm not going anywhere. I am in this reality as I am, as with who I am, where I am, when I am. I am right here. That's the only thing that matters. Instead of trying to bring forth a reality where I have more, sure, more money would be great. I'll take a house. I'll tell you exactly what I want it to look like. They're like, oh, know exactly what you want. I know exactly. My mood board for my house has thousands of pictures saved. I give you my summer house, my winter house, my vacation house, my she shed, all of it. I have it all down to a science. Like down to the cabinet color. Truly. Hi, Baba. And I think it's important for people to realize that, yes, you can just call in another reality, but what is that other reality also coming with? What is that coming with? Is that reality healing? You might be a millionaire, but you also might be an NPC. Is that reality for or against your current beliefs? Questions for you. How does that reality take care of themselves? What mind, body, and spirit rituals do they partake in? Daily, monthly, weekly? At what frequency do they partake in them? Do they brush their teeth morning and night? Sometimes between lunch? Do they floss? Because you ask yourself, if I had to be intentional about my life and I'm calling in a whole new life, unless you're like really nuanced and really into where you counteract, like, because intention is just pure witchcraft, right? Like intention is, you don't have to do any candles or anything. You just set the intention and that is magic in itself, right? So if you set like a double negative, where you say anything that goes against who I am, what I am currently, I want to align with a reality that is most like what I am right now, and you like double negative it, you know what I'm saying? But most people are not doing that. They're simply saying, I'm in a reality where I'm super rich. Okay. And then if we're all doing this, if we're all mixing and mashing a lack of intention, I think it's a concerning thing to think about. I don't think it's something that I'm like, but I think that, if you're working like with quantum entanglement and you want to be around me, I just think the answer is just going to be no. Like, that's a scary individual to me. One thing you should know about me is that no intention is worse than bad intention. Because all it takes is for one singular person to even believe that you are trying to swap realities with another version of you. And if you're not doing protection work, again, it's not fear monger or this, but if you are taking these steps, it's like, hey, I'm going to learn to drive a car and like, I buckled my seatbelt, but I put it behind my back. Okay, but there are steps for a reason. And I don't know, I just feel like a lot of people get lost in the process. Like if we're taking this driving car analogy, like you get lost in the process and you start decorating and you get like a fucking wheel tray you know, like, I think you should remember why it is that you're doing what you're doing. Remember the path that it takes to get to where, like, do you want to decorate your car, or do you just want your own space? Because what is the car really for? What is this quantum jump? What is this reality shift even for? What is it for? Because a lot of people, respectfully, it's out of lack. Disrespectfully, if that's how you want to take it, it's out of lack. Fulfillment, like true ascension or whatever the fuck you want to call it, is being you as you are, with who you are, when you are, where you are, and just being like content in that. Being happy, being sad in that. But being you in that. And you can give me but that's technically me. Okay, well, I can give you a past life regression story that literally to this day scares me. That was me. It's not me now, though. What about you now, as you are, where you are? I just think that most people that do this, if they're not intentional, they're doing it out of lack. My cat's got the zoomies. And personally, I'd either like you to stop doing that, stop trying to put another version of you here, especially if you can't handle you as you are already. Ugh. And then 2, if you do happen to be making this decision from a centered, a self-loving space, a complete confident space, be intentional about it. Like, be real intentional about it. And again, whether that's double negative, like I talked about, or literally listing out, I want to be in a reality that brushes, flosses, rinses, coconut oil pulls, and tongue scrapes morning and night. If it's not that reality, I don't want it. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you need to be intentional, especially with the things that matter to you. Because a lot of people, especially when it comes to like money, a lot of people will say money, but it's like, okay, but like you have money, but you only have money because your mom died. In that reality, she gave you her inheritance. You ready for that? Like, you could have it, but are you ready for that? Because no, that's not the only reality. But that's what I'm talking about, is there's so many, like, there's an infinite number of realities that you can tap into. Infinite. Literally, from me being exactly as I am to one ear being slightly longer, slightly longer at the bottom. Like, that in itself is a whole different reality. Butterfly effect, but like on a grand scheme. You understand? So align with the realities, especially if you're doing, I think if I was to recommend, I'm not recommending it, but if I was to recommend someone from a centered, confident position, do small jumps into then where you are. You take where you are as you are from who you are, you jump into that longer earlobe. Okay? They don't call anything to you. You go to it. Should you want to, meet halfway. Ask that. Say, spirit guides, ancestors, spirit team, God, Allah. Like, if this is where I'm meant to be, let them meet me halfway. And if they don't, then it wasn't meant to be. Cool. A beautiful way to be able to protect yourself. But that's what I would recommend, is for people to, when they get into quantum jumping and all these different things, especially with spirituality now being mainstream and da-da-da, take little jumps. Little jumps. I also talked about before how most of our manifestations are not coming in because we have to regulate our nervous system, or we have to, do this or prepare for it, or it's just being built and we have to wait. Most of the times it's not coming in because God is like, spirit teams, whatever, however you want to word it, whatever it is to you. But source is saying, that's not what's really in your heart. So we're just going to give you some time. You can have it. Because when it's really like when manifestation becomes instant is when it's clear, precise, of and in you, right? Like if it's really you. That's, and Spirit's like, okay. When source is like, maybe that's not exactly who you are. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me. But yeah. Time to go. Be aware of the intentions that you're moving with. And if you are quantum jumping, either one, don't, or two, do so with intention, self-love, and commitment. Like really commit to the bit. You know, like really, like only you know yourself, only you know the deities, the family members, the spirits, whatever it is, the fucking gnomes and fairies that you're working with. Only you know who you're working with. Only you know what you're working with. Only you know where you are mentally, physically, spiritually. Only you know why it is that you're doing what you're doing. Even if, because you can use this to be able to, you know, align with healing and this, that it's just not being done right. People are making huge, unnecessary, unhealed jumps, and that scares the fuck out of me. Please. Because this is how people are like, hey, you called me and told me some crazy shit. And it impacted me in such, you know what I'm saying? Like, And then with like AI and like people doing AI phone scams and like being able to use your voice and no. I need you to either slow the fuck down or get wise. Quickly. Okay? Because this shit is not a game. And I'm so sorry that you were introduced to it if you were in such a way. Because I was first introduced to like a third eye opening and that like fucked me over. So, I mean, I get it. But if you were introduced to like quantum jumping, like, oh, it's like Sagwa, like, yeah, just like play some meditation music while you're sleeping, you'll be fine. It's really not. Like, be your own boss. Have authority over your life, please. Because the shit can get real deep, real fast. And disrespectfully, if that's how you want to take it, it's your fault. It's your fault. I'm not going to be dealing with you doing bullshit. Because if you didn't know better, you should have figured out better. But I appreciate, you know, the time that it takes to be able to sit through 20 minutes of me talking. And I hope that y'all are making safe, loving decisions. Because I get it. And don't fuck everybody else up just because you want a little bit extra cash. You understand what I'm saying? Because reality is it's not worth it. Be you as you are. And if you're going to use that tool, use it wisely. You understand? It should never have gone mainstream.